video, I'm going to be sharing 5 smaller, less saturated niches that you can create listings for today to start seeing some more momentum and some more sales in your shop. I will be sharing them in no particular order. They are all extremely valuable and hopefully niches that you haven't even heard of before. Let me take that back. Not that you haven't heard of some of these before. I believe that you probably already are familiar with some of these things on this list, but maybe you haven't considered these as niches or things that you could create products for. If you are new to my channel, my name is Taylor and I talk about all things print on demand and passive income. So if that is something that interests you, be sure to boop the subscribe button down below. Niche number 1 is running. More specifically, looking at this keyword of 5K shirts. This is a niche that can see tons of sales and even better, can see a lot of group sales. I am somebody who actually likes to run, and within the 5K community, those who like to run 5Ks, there is a 5K for pretty much every holiday, different events, and this makes this a fantastic niche to tap into because it can see increases and spikes in sales following the holidays, just like you would with different seasonal niches. One of the most popular 5Ks that I think of is the turkey trot. I don't know if that's what it's called everywhere, but in my area where I live for Thanksgiving, there are turkey trots everywhere, and my family and we go and run a 5K the morning of Thanksgiving. It just makes you feel a little bit better about all the food that you're gonna eat later. But when we do go to this event, I always notice there's so many groups and families that are wearing matching shirts or just matching outfits, and people really go all out for it. I'm doing my research here in Everbee. I'm using their keyword tool. When I type in 5K shirts, the first thing that immediately stands out to me is the competition. There's only a little over 3,000 listings using this keyword phrase, which is hardly anything when it comes to niches on Etsy. And looking at some of the product analytics for this keyword, one of the top listings was actually related to the St. Patrick's Day niche, and it was cross-niched with 5K, which makes complete sense because I know where I live, there was also a St. Patty's Day 5K going on. So such a great niche that you can tap into. And this doesn't have to just be limited to 5Ks. Thinking about running in general, we also have 10Ks and half marathons or full marathons. These are all great examples of super micro niches that you can design for and start to see sales and momentum with your shop as a beginner on Etsy. Niche number 2 is the baking niche, or more specifically, the sourdough bread niche. This is another niche that I actually have dove into myself personally. I've been making sourdough bread myself, and now I feel like this video is like a get to know me. I like to run 5Ks and make bread, but nonetheless, that's how I stumbled upon it because it's something that I was interested in. And niches like this that people are super passionate about make for the best niches, in my opinion. When I type in the word sourdough shirt, there is less than 6,000 listings actually using this keyword phrase. And just taking a look at what types of products are currently selling in this niche, you can see there's tons with bestseller badges and even popular now badges. It looks like sellers are mainly using more earthy tones for the mock-ups. They're using a lot of the sand or even just a brown or chocolate color t-shirt, as well as more of a moss or earthy green color. This listing here is in 19 carts, which is a positive indicator that this is a product that is in demand. And using Everbee, as I analyze this listing, this is a listing that hasn't been on Etsy for over a month. So it's already seeing traction, has about 34 favorites, 8 total sales, and the views are climbing. Taking a look at the different keywords that are being used, I'm gonna just filter by keyword score. Essentially what the keyword score means is the ratio of search volume to competition. So ideally you wanna find keywords that are high search and low competition. Some of the best keywords that this seller is using are sourdough starter, sourdough bread, funny baking shirt, and homestead shirt, which that brings in maybe even another smaller niche as well. Looking at homesteading as a whole, that could be something that you expand on from just this little niche right here. Niche number 3 is golf. Of course, we have Father's Day that is coming up in June. Golf is a fantastic niche to target when it comes to Father's Day. So kind of cross-niching the types of keywords that you might be using in your title and tags for Father's Day gift, gift for dad, dad golfing gift. All of those are different keyword combinations that I would use for this specific niche. However, when we think of golf, automatically most people do kind of just assume golf with man or men, and men are not the only people who golf. A smaller, less saturated niche within the golfing niche would be women who golf. Just typing in women golf on the keyword tool, this has a little over 40,000 listings that are using this specific keyword. This is a niche that is starting to see traction as it is springtime rolling into summer, and that's really when golf starts to become popular. Then weather's nicer, people are out and about. But this is a niche that will carry on through the remaining part of summer and even into the early bits of fall. I went back into Etsy and searched golf shirts for women. There are tons of products that are earning thousands of dollars in revenue already every single month. The only thing that I want to make a note and be cautious of with you here is you do want to make sure that you're doing your research in terms of trademarks, and not necessarily just for this niche, all of the niches that I'm sharing in this video. But the reason that I mention it with this niche is as I'm looking at some of these listings, they are using the word masters, which is, I'm not a golf expert, but it's a golf tournament. It's something that's televised, and I am not 100% sure, but I would think and imagine that that's something that probably has a trademark to it. So just make sure you're doing your due diligence and researching any of the keywords that you do end up using in your listings. While some of these listings are a bit older and have been on Etsy for some time, there are still several listings that are very young. Many of these right here are a month old, 2 months old, 3 months old. That is a success metric or success indicator that I like to look for as I'm doing this niche research. Which, by the way, if you do not already use Everbee, Everbee is free to use. However, there are certain features within Everbee that you do have to upgrade to their paid plan. If that's something you've been considering, I do have a link in the description that is for 50% off your first 2 months of the paid plan with Everbee. So if you're considering trying it out, be sure to use that link. That way you can get a discount. Niche number 4 is the photography niche, and not in the typical sense that you would think of maybe somebody who has photography as a hobby, but rather so as somebody who is a photographer and has a business in photography. The phrase photographer business is something that is relatively high in search volume, and as you can see, there's less than 10,000 listings using this keyword phrase. What seems to be performing really well in this niche currently is custom products. Products that have the photographer's business name, or even products that have a year of when the business was started, or maybe when the individual became a photographer. And so if you were looking at potentially targeting this niche, I would recommend incorporating some type of personalized element to your products and your designs that you do create, which doesn't have to be difficult to do. You can actually automate things like names, dates, or even locations by using Hello Custom, which is a personalization software that will actually automate the entire personalization process for you, which is also just a great way to stand out in any niche that you end up creating listings for. Niche number 5 is scrapbooking. This is definitely a niche that I don't think many people would think of, but looking at the keyword score of this phrase, I just typed in scrapbooker. I feel like it sounds like I'm saying booger. I need to emphasize the K, book-er. This has a keyword score of 160, which that's basically just looking at the search volume here compared to the competition. This is significantly high search volume in comparison to the competition that is using this specific keyword phrase. Top selling products in this niche are seeing upwards of 5 figures in revenue, with many of them over $5,000 in revenue every single month. This is a niche that I'm seeing being brought to multiple different product types as well, like mugs or candles, apparel, even phone cases. And so this is a niche that I think would be a fantastic addition to a general store that's targeting multiple different niches It is what I would consider an evergreen niche, so it's something that could also potentially be seeing sales all year round. I have so many more niches that I want to add to this list and share with you. So if you want to see a part 2, be sure to leave a comment down below and be sure to like this video as well if you found inspiration at any point throughout it. And as always, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one.